Welcome back to VL Speaks with You. I am Virna Lisa, and this is episode 18. So, on the heels of August, which is just a couple of days ago, this month, September, happy Labor Day weekend, by the way, this month's theme is self discipline. And last month's theme was contentment. So, it's perfectly placed because September is the time to go back to school, and most of us are getting our hustle back on in the fall so that we can finish the year off with a strong oomph. Now, self discipline. What do I mean by that? Self discipline meaning determined effort, that there's some kind of heat, fervor. You've got some passion about what you want to do with yourself. And there's usually something about having determined effort towards some kind of change or accomplishing a goal and being successful at something. It could be in your relationships, it could be about your career, it could be about a personal goal for something that you want to do for your health and fitness. It could be about just making lifestyle changes or all of the above. Okay, if you're like me, I like to take on things in every avenue of life, which I'll speak to that a little bit later. But usually it's that kind of heat. And it's coupled with like joy, some level of joy and effort, and it brings a sense of accomplishment to your actions. And it could be from the very mundane, it could be like cleaning your home or fixing your car or building a shelf or doing volunteer work, whatever, getting a raise, getting a promotion, whatever it is that's going on in your life. But there's definitely some joy and passion in the process of implementing this next level of self-discipline. So for instance, let's say you want to go for a promotion at work, right? Which means that you may need to take a little more initiative. You decide, well, in order to take more initiative, got to wake up earlier in the morning, right? Which means that you're not staying up as late the night before. And wait a minute, you know what? Having a really sound breakfast before you go into your day is going to help you achieve a better level of performance throughout the day. And you're not doing it because you want fame or to be applauded for your work, but you know that this is something that you want for yourself, right? This is inert. This is something that's coming from within you to do this because it's something that you want to accomplish, because there will be benefits to accomplishing it. And that trickle down effect will affect all kinds of different things in your life. So you're not staying up later, which means that you're not snacking later, which means that you're probably going to lose some weight due to that newfound self-discipline. Just on one goal towards a positive change, implementing self-discipline can then affect lots of different things in your life, so that your life becomes more of a skillful way of managing the everyday to day. And that's really an enriching and uplifting kind of way of approaching self-discipline, right? So let's say that you're making better choices, which also means that you're taking on new things or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve with a reasonable approach, knowing like, okay, I'm not going to try and do everything, but because I have that fervor and passion for doing better and being better, I'm going to do this incrementally, right? In a very practical way, knowing that you will achieve success in each of these things that you're trying to accomplish, right? That you will accomplish. Discipline. I think about athletes and what they have to do to get more disciplined, and then even people that are just trying to hone their craft and their art. They've got to be more disciplined. And not only that, being self-disciplined means that there is another level of commitment and consistency, because consistency is what's going to help you move forward. right? Now, let's say you may think that you're kind of like falling short on the things that you want to do, right? The tendency for a lot of people is to beat themselves up. And that really is not helpful because that kind of guilt actually only reinforces whatever negative aspect it is that you're playing out in your life, whether it's a habit or mindset. So just know that if you're too hard on yourself and you start to dwell on the negative aspects about why you didn't get something done or you missed something someday, that's not helpful. The key is to forgive yourself. Okay, I didn't do it today for whatever the reasons were, but I'm going to double down. You need to think to yourself, tomorrow, I'm going to double down on efforts to move forward. And that's an act of kindness to yourself, and that's also an act of self-love. I find it helpful to journal about what I want to do for the day and then how that's going to affect the next day. Because if you're planning out that day, like I'm going to do such, and such, go to sleep at this time, wake up at this time, and then when you wake up, you check off what you did and what you didn't do, and then you double down on your efforts that next day. And you kind of catch up and recover quickly, and you do it in a way that's not punishing, but you're keeping yourself accountable. That's one of the things I love about journaling. I find it helpful to journal about what I want to do for the day and then how that's going to affect the next day. Because if you're planning out that day, like I'm going to do such, and such, go to sleep at this time, wake up at this time, and then when you wake up, you check off what you did and what you didn't do, and then you double down on your efforts that next day. And you kind of catch up and recover quickly, and you do it in a way that's not punishing, but you're keeping yourself accountable. That's one of the things I love about journaling. By implementing self-discipline, you also have to implement a level of kindness and forgiveness to yourself. Not too much kindness, not too many excuses. That's not what we're talking about. You don't want to slip back too much, right? You want to keep that momentum towards whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. But know that when you have that sense of accomplishment, that also propels you forward and say, oh, this self-discipline thing is really paying off. Yeah? I love this mantra, and that is, I will, I shall, I must, and I want to. So I hope this was helpful. I'm trying to keep these segments a little bit shorter. I get really great feedback that under 20 minutes was helpful. It kept their attention and they stayed engaged. So I'm taking the constructive criticism. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, be healthy, and remember, come Tuesday, we're going to get our hustle on and have fun. Ciao.